I thought they were supposed to be $50,000 or $60,000, and here they are reaching up past $150,000 only in 5 years. The main culprit for that, about 80% or so of that difference, is nothing more than exchange rate between the dollar and the euro. At the time this rule was first coming into play, the dollar and the euro were on one-to-one parity, or very close to it. It's been up as high as $1.50 to make a euro, and right now it's sitting about $1.35. But that is the bulk of the difference, and unfortunately, nobody in the industry, no dealers, no manufacturers, make one more dime on that, but it has pushed the prices of these things up a lot. Now, they don't all come from Europe, but for those that do, that's significant. And of course, the Rotax engine used on about 80% of all LSA comes from Europe, so those prices have risen, and that's the main cause of price increases. The other two main causes of price increases in 5 years are, number one, there's more equipment on these airplanes. People have asked for things like autopilots and glass panels and 3-axis trim and on and on and on, and so the manufacturers have responded and put that stuff on, but that only accounts for actually a fairly small chunk of what has risen and caused these prices to go up. The other one is time value of money. In 5 years, there's been about 18% accretion to the, or decrease in the value of a dollar, and that has also boosted prices. But somewhere between 70 and 80% of the cost of the higher prices is nothing more than exchange rate. Nonetheless, we still have some good prices, and here's some examples. This is by no means an exhaustive list. There are others. I just couldn't fit any more on the screen, but I want to highlight these because these all were announced fairly soon before the beginning of this event. Flight Design had a press conference yesterday, announced their CTLS Lite. This is the market leader at present. They knocked $20,000 off the price of that airplane, coming in at $119,000, which some people think is a pretty good number for that airplane. Jabiru and their associated company, some of the same people running the show there, have been able to lower the price on their J230 and their new Lightning LS1. You see they're both under $100,000, and that's pretty well equipped. Of course, you can spend a few $1,000s more and put more on it. Then we have some other ones, the J170, which is a little smaller version of the J230. That's down at $85,000. We have the Aerotrek. They have a nice display right near the LSA Mall with some handsome airplanes below $70,000, and the X-Air below $60,000. And we have other choices that go all the way down to the lowest number I know of for an SLSA ready to fly is $28,000, and that happens to be a weight shift trike from Airborne, but that is a ready to fly airplane, fully certified, for less than $30,000. So to those that say, hey, what happened to these prices? How come they're so high? I say, you haven't looked far enough yet. Now, you may not want some of these airplanes. You may want something with all the bells and whistles on it. That's your choice. But there are choices all the way down below $30,000 and several below $100,000. Given that those other factors of equipment and time value of money, I think those numbers are quite comparable to what was expected back in 2003. The year before this rule was announced. It was announced, by the way, on for those of you that have forgotten, in July of 2004, on the exact day, 35 years to the day later, when Neil Armstrong touched foot on the moon. And I'm sure that was a nice little bit of timing on FAA's part. So that takes us through that. Just going to do one of those reviews for you about what we talked about today, and then we'll do questions and answers. The LSA malls continue to remain very popular for many components of the industry. The audits, we believe, are beginning to show that the manufacturers definitely do comply, and there's somebody else besides them saying that in our self-declarative system. We believe that the LAMA EU is going to improve the industry's outlook in Europe significantly by reducing regulatory burdens through communication, effective communication with the leaders over there. And we have seen the industry significantly trim its prices to try and address those concerns of people that these airplanes have gotten too expensive. So that concludes my prepared remarks. I'll do questions and answers if there are any, and appreciate all of you having come here today. Any questions? Scott? Can you explain the process of contractors for audits and how what the association is between the auditors? It's a great question. Scott asks to explain the association, or the word I've forgotten now, between the relationship between the LAMA auditors and some consultants. LAMA does not actually itself go out and do these audits. We have signed memorandums of understanding with some leading experts in the industry. There are 3 organizations. You can find that on the LAMA website, which is lama.bz. That's Bravo Zulu. What we do is this. All of those people, there are 3 companies here and 1 in Europe that can do these things, and they can all either do consulting or auditing. They are welcome to do either. But if the company consults, if one of these companies consults to a manufacturer, they cannot then do the audit for them. And if they do the audit for them, they cannot consult until after the audit is complete. And that, in that way, we believe we keep some separation and some integrity in the system, but it is also a totally objective evaluation. You either have all the documents that you're supposed to have and we see them, or you don't have them all and we don't see them. And you either have the processes in place in your factory for quality assurance and so forth, or you don't have them. There's really not much room for manipulation in there. We don't turn a blind eye on that. That's about the only way that that could be manipulated, I think, to the detriment. But that's not good for any of these individuals. They all have companies. They are full-time at making an enterprise out of consulting to this industry, and they can't let their reputation suffer. And LAMA also has leadership in the form of Larry Burke, who founded this organization, who then reviews those audits. The one last component that answers Scott's question is that ASTM now has in ballot, and I should have checked the status of the ballot before I came, but I didn't get a chance to do that. We did create an audit standard. There is an ASTM audit standard now that says how you do audits. Actually, that was created significantly out of what LAMA has already done. But that, if it passes ballot here in the next month or so, it will be the fastest approval of an ASTM standard in ASTM history. So if that happens before about the end of May, it will be a record quick approval of that particular standard, and we're very pleased about that. Does that answer the question, Scott? Great. Any others?
Can you talk about just market conditions last year, how much the numbers slipped, and is the outlook getting better now? Or?
Market conditions in the last year, 2009, and are they getting any better now? I can tell you this. I've talked to virtually all the people in the business in the last month or so as we prepared the LSA ball. It has been a bloodbath out there. That's probably not too wild a word to use. It has been extremely slow. Not only in 2009, I'll come back to some numbers about that, but 2010 has also been very, very slow. Scary slow, I'll admit. But the good news is, most of the same people, virtually all the ones I've talked to here at the show, saying, hey, calls are starting to happen again, emails are starting to happen, we're actually starting to sign some contracts again. So we believe that there is a life back in the system. Perhaps that's just optimism, but I don't think so. There's been too many people saying that. In 2009, there were 234 light sport aircraft airplanes registered, and I stress the airplanes because airplanes is just one category of light sport aircraft. There are also weight shift, powered parachutes, gliders, gyros. None of those are called airplanes. Airplanes are the ones with fixed wings on them, basically. And so we count those numbers because FAA's database is pretty challenging to follow for all the other ones, and unfortunately we just can't be sure. We're not doubting their figures are right, but their definition of those things makes it too hard to count them accurately. So 234 airplanes registered in 2009. That compares to 491, I believe, is the number for 2008. So a significant slippage. That means it's down 42% in 2009. That's certainly not good, but single-engine piston in the United States was down 54%. So conventional type certified aircraft in 2009, it was even rougher. Of course, I'm not gloating about that, not at all. We feel very badly for those thousands of Cessna employees and many others that have been laid off while things have gotten so slow, but it has affected our industry a little less badly, perhaps because our price points are a little lower and so forth. But we're hopeful about 2010. I don't have any early numbers about how things are looking, but I know it's been bad so far. Did that answer your question satisfactorily?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, great. Any others? Okay, well, I really appreciate you being here today. And we'll just invite you out to the mall. Please come out and talk to the manufacturers out there. The story here is about the airplanes. LAMA is just the organization to support. Thank you.